जानता समानो मंत्र समिति समानी समानो मंत्र समिति समानी समानं मना सहचित्तमीशां संगच्छध्वं संवदध्वं संगो मना सिजानता समानो मंत्र समिति समानी समानो मंत्र समिति समानी समानं मनसः चित्तमीशां संगच्छध्वं संवदध्वं संवो मना सिजानता समानी व्याकुति समाना हृदयानिव समानी व्याकुति समाना हृदयानिव समानमस्तु वो मनो यथा वा सुसहासति संगच्छध्वं संवदध्वं संवो मना सिजानता आनन्दलोके मङ्गलालोके বিরাজো সত্য সুন্দর মহিমা তব উদ্ভাসিত মহাগগন মাঝে মহিমা তব উদ্ভাসিত মহাগগন মাঝে বিশ্বজগৎ মুনিভূষণ বেষ্টিত চরণে আনন্দলোকে মঙ্গলালোকে বিরাজো সত্য সুন্দর বিরাজো সত্য সুন্দর বিরাজো সত্য সুন্দর।
At peace with all, may we be together in harmony. A very warm welcome and good afternoon to everyone present here. Every aspect of life is impacted by health, from longevity to happiness. Being aware about best practices for good health has seen a growing significance in the current period, particularly in the wake of the pandemic, as various aspects of human well-being has taken center stage. World Health Day is celebrated on the 7th April every year. This year, today, on the 7th of April 2025, flags off a campaign, a year-long campaign on maternal health and newborn health. The campaign titled Healthy Beginnings and Hopeful Futures will urge governments, the health community, including the academia, to ramp up efforts to end preventable maternal and newborn deaths and to prioritize women's longer term health and well being. We at Dr. B.C. Roy Academy of Professional Courses have always been champions of the right causes, and the Department of Hospital Management have celebrated this day with genuine enthusiasm and heartfelt sincerity every year. This is one of the biggest events of the college where we get the good fortune of meeting world famous personages every year. This year, we have the good fortune of having with us the Chief Medical Officer of the ITC India, the highly esteemed, world-renowned eminence of Dr. Chandy. May we have a round of applause for Dr. Sunil Kumar Chandy. To commemorate the event, we would now watch a Shastriya Nritya performance by the students of the Department of Hospital Management. what a performance. What a performance. Indeed, a proud display of Bharatiya Shastriya Dharohar, indeed. I would now request on stage Professor Dr. Rajiv Roy, Principal Dr. B.C. Roy, Academy of Professional Courses, and our chief guest, Dr. Sunil Chandy, to grace the stage, please. May we have the honor of having on stage Dr. Chandy and Dr. Rajiv Roy, please.
অডিওটা চেক করে নিতে হবে। কি করে করব?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now to growth and new beginnings. Allow me to welcome on stage the Honorable General Secretary of Dr. B.C. Roy Society, the edupreneur Mr. Tarun Bhattacharya, sir, and other esteemed dignitaries on stage, please, for the watering of the sapling. May we also have on stage Jarnal Singh sir and Meeta ma'am also. I would also request our chief guest and Dr. Rajiv Roy to come to the front of the stage, please. To growth and new beginnings. Quite significantly, the Krishna Chura or the Krishner Chura Moni je Fool, সেই ফুলের কিশালয় আমরা রোপণ করব আমাদেরই কলেজ প্রাঙ্গণে। Gulmohar symbolizes vibrancy, beauty and cultural heritage of India. The Gulmohar tree for Kerala's Christian community is known as Kalvarippu or the Calvary flower, with a legend suggesting that the tree had much religious and medicinal properties also. Thank you so much, our dignitaries. I would now request the Honorable General Secretary, sir, to kindly felicitate our chief guest with the Sanskritic Uttoryo and flower bouquet. May we please have you at the front of the stage, sir? A round of applause, please. A silver memento to remain in Dr. Chandy's memories. May we please have the silver memento presented on stage to Dr. Chandy. Thank you so much. May I please request all the dignitaries to take their VIP seats, please. I would request Professor Dr. Rajiv Roy, Principal Dr. B.C.R. APC, to please present Dr. Chandy with a small token of appreciation. May we have on stage the token of appreciation, please. Now, our students have specially handcrafted a gift for Dr. Chandy. For their efforts, I would call on stage our student Shudipa Mitra, fourth semester, to present the artifact herself. She has handcrafted this herself. Hands together. Thank you. May I now have the honor of requesting Professor Dr. Rajiv Roy, Principal Dr. B.C. Roy Academy of Professional Courses, on the lectern for the welcome address. Sir?
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Shunil Chandy, Honorable members of Dr. B.C. Roy Society, respected Chief Advisor, Principals, Vice Principal, Registers of other group colleges, respected dignitaries, my dear colleagues and students. It's a matter of great privilege for me to welcome you all at this celebration of World Health Day 2025 here at our campus, being organized by Department of Hospital Management, Dr. B.C. Roy Academy of Professional Courses. We have been organizing this event traditionally every year, and we have been fortunate enough to have the best leadership voices as well as motivational speakers speaking on specific areas on healthcare based on the broader theme of World Health Day as decided by World Health Organization every year. This year being the Silver Jubilee celebration of Dr. B.C. Roy Society, as well as that of our engineering college too. Keeping with the tradition, we were even more committed to have the most powerful leadership voice to mark the occasion. Our relentless search for the very best thankfully ended up with today's guest of honor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have Dr. Shunil Chandy, Chief Medical Officer, ITC India, and former Director, CMC Vellore, who, besides being a senior cardiologist, also happens to be a very well-known, powerful healthcare leadership voice across various national and international fora. We welcome you, sir, at our campus, and it is indeed a great honor to have you among us on this special day. This year's theme for World Health Day is Healthy Beginnings, Hopeful Future. And based on this broader theme, the topic that Dr. Chandy will address on is technology in healthcare, boon or bane. With digitization of healthcare services growing day by day, and artificial intelligence, as we are talking a little earlier, picking up so fast, it's really a great challenge to see to what extent technology will overpower human intervention in the healthcare sector going forward. I hope Dr. Chandy's insightful words will help us get a glimpse on that. I'll particularly urge our students to lend their ears patiently and passionately, because rarely you do get a chance to listen to such powerful voice. Before I conclude, I would like to thank the management of Dr. B.C. Roy Society for their continuous support and patronage in hosting this event. A special mention goes for Dr. the guiding force in having Dr. Chandy here today. I wish this event a grand success. Thank you all. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Of course, to new voices and new beginnings. May we have the pleasure of welcoming on stage none other than Dr. Parthopal, Medical Director, the Mission Hospital, Durgapur. May we have on stage Dr. Parthopal, please?
না ঠিক আছে যদি হয়ে যাবে Very good afternoon to all of you. I express my gratitude to the respected members of the society with Mr. Tarun Bhattacharya for providing me the opportunity to speak a few words in the World Health Day. My heartiest welcome to Dr. Sunil Chandy, ex-director of CMC Vellore. I have seen him as a cardiologist, HOD cardiology in the year 2003, and then subsequently he was a fellow student of me, of BITS Pilani in doing this MPhil, and he was a great guide for me and for all of us. So a heartiest welcome for his gracious presence in the soil of Durgapur. My heartiest welcome to all other guests, which include the faculties of BCRA Engineering Colleges, Pharmacy College, Management Colleges, and my heartiest welcome to the consultant and doctors of the Mission Hospital, the administrative staff, the CEO of the Mission Hospital Durgapur, the President HR, VP Operations of the Mission Hospital Durgapur. Now coming directly to the topic, as the opening statement, to address different types of challenges in the health spectrum, the theme for the World Health Day is Healthy Beginning and Hopeful Future, which focuses on maternal and child health. Every mother should survive and thrive. Every mother and the child should survive and thrive. But it is not only the survival of the mother. If we consider the definition of the health, what is health? Health is a state of physical, mental and social well-being, and not merely absence of disease or infirmity in order to lead a socially useful, productive life. This is the very definition of the health. So every mother and child should survive and thrive also. This is one of the goals, and that is the World Health Organization's mandate, call for action, and that is for supporting mother and child health. Now coming to the global scenario, taking close to the global scenario, around 3 lakh women lost their life due to pregnancy or childbirth every year. Over 2 million babies die in the first month of life, and around 2 million more are still born. This is roughly 1 preventable death per second. This is about the global scenario. Coming to the Indian scenario, you find that the maternal mortality has reduced from 103 per 1,000 live births in 2017 and 19 to 97 per 1 lakh live births in 218 and 20. This translates to around 24,000 maternal deaths in 1 year alone. So I have given you the global burden, I have given you the Indian scenario. Now the leading causes of the maternal death are obstetric hemorrhage, pregnancy-related infections, hypertensive disorders of pregnancy, unsafe MTP and obstructed liver. The three delay concept causes assigned are: 1, delay in making the decision to seek care. Delay in making decision that I need a care. Number 1, there is a 3 delay concept which has led to this increase in the maternal mortality. Number 2, delays in getting to a health facility and delay in health institution providing care. These are the three delay concepts, and this has led to the increase in the maternal mortality. The government has made number of initiatives, number of programs and number of proposals are being passed, which include National Health Mission, Janani Suraksha Yojana, Integrated Child Development, Janani Sishu Suraksha Karyakram, Lux, which aims to improve the quality of care in the labor room and maternity operation theatres. So most universal immunization program, Rashtriya Bal Swastha Karyakram, Anemia Mukt Bharat, encouraging kangaroo mother care. So lot of government initiatives have been initiated both by the center and the state. But then, why is this scenario? Is a question we ask. The first point which comes is the fidelity of execution. What do you mean by fidelity of execution? We know the thing, what to do, and we do what we know, but we don't do it rightly. This is called fidelity of execution. Are we executing the programs in the right way? Is the design of delivery of services are in the right way? As you all know, that when we talk of quality, first of all, quality is by design. Is the design process proper so that it serves the mother and the child? Is a question I raise. Number two, as commonly said, are we in health care or in health industry? This is a question which always comes. Are we serving the health and care, which have the common words of empathy, sympathy, or are we in health industry in which every other firm or institute wants to take business from the health firm, from the health industry? That is, any pharmaceuticals, stent companies, the venture capitalists, every business. We have to decide what we are doing. Are we in health industry or are we really good doing the health care? Is a question, and that needs to be very clear in us. Now, what are the proposals which we can give? Number one, as I had studied some of the articles of Dr. Sunil also, he says tertiary care in the hinterland of India. He has written that, he has told about this with reference to CMC Vellore. What I mean to say is, if this sort of a tertiary care services, what do you mean by hinterland? Hinterland means rural areas. If this sort of a tertiary care services can be planned, which deals with the acute care in the peripheries, then there can be some improvement and some decrease in the maternal mortality and infant mortality rates. Taking in this direction, we have Plan One program in our hospital, the mission hospital, that is redesigning the emergency in the peripheries, so that in emergency situations, because most of the deaths which comes are the maternal mortality deaths, which comes are due to some acute complications which have been developed. And these acute complications cannot be dealt in a periphery hospital. So if this sort of a periphery ICU setups can be formed, can be customized, because this periphery ICUs we need not for any robotic care surgeries or for any other big surgeries, any other surgeries of high precision, but we need this sort of an ICUs. But we need this sort of ICUs for this acute care settings. This is what I mean, that tertiary care hospitals in hinterland of India. Now, the closing statement I would like to say that healthcare need to be accessible, affordable, ethical. These are the three lines which can say accessible, affordable, and ethical. But to add on with these words, accessibility, affordability, and ethical, we have to say that healthcare need to be sustainable also. If the hospital, the mission hospital in which we are working for last 16, 17 years, have not sustained, then the place of Durgapur, which is now considered as the health hub, would not have existed. Thanks to the Board of Directors of Mission Hospital for making such vision. And I think we also as a part of the management had been working hard for last 16 and 17 years for the mission. So what we need is a transformational change in the society to make a service-oriented goal, not for a transaction-oriented, because medical services cannot be transaction-oriented. It has to be transformational. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Very, very pertinent questions raised in hope of a better future. Now, moving forward with the program, may we have the pleasure of listening to the opening remarks by the Honorable Dr. Shoitkot Moitro, sir, Chief Advisor, Dr. B.C. Roy Society. May we please have you on stage, sir? A few words, sir.
Yes, good afternoon to all of you. Basically, we are eagerly awaiting for listening to Dr. Sunil Chandy because we would like to enrich ourselves from engineering and professional communities, how technology and modern approaches in healthcare is going to transform the healthcare industries in current scenario and future also. And we were discussing with Dr. Chandy, and he was hinting that he will be presenting regarding on different case studies, successful case studies, how technology is being applied and how healthcare can be made more accessible and affordable to the remotest corners of this country. So from my side, I'd like to restrict me today, and I would like to allow Dr. Chandy as much time as possible for his deliberation, and which is the main focal point of attraction today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moitro, sir. So, not keeping you waiting further, so Dr. Chandy's bio or introduction is, illustrious and pages long, just the tip of the iceberg. Dr. Sunil Chandy is the former director of Christian Medical College, Vellore, and currently he is the Chief Medical Officer of the ITC India. Dr. Chandy started his career in Raxol after completion of his MBBS and subsequently in Kerala after his MD. He chose to specialize in cardiology, and thereafter he served on the faculty of CMC Vellore for nearly 3 decades. He is also an FRCP with an MPhil in management, whereby he was induced into administration in CMC. He has held the ranks of administrator in CMC. He was the deputy medical superintendent and vice principal in CMC Vellore, remaining there as the director for the next 5-6 years. Dr. Sunil Chandy has always been a champion of the whole person approach in health. Dr. Chandy's leadership has been in the area of need-based and compassionate medicine. The traveling and speaking widely on health and management topics has always been his passion. Thus, to the epic orator, may I please hand over the stage to the famous Dr. Sunil Chandy.
I have never had so many good things said about me in one program. It's been an honor to receive so many small things, maybe, but conveys deep honor to me, and I want to thank you, especially the management, for this opportunity that you have given me. Mr. Tarun, all the others who form the esteemed membership of the BC Roy Society, and my good friend Partho, thank you for this evening, and I hope that your expectations will be justified. Can I have the slides on, please? So as has already been mentioned that today I thought I will brainstorm with you on this topic of what role does technology play in healthcare from a clinician's point of view. Today if you open the internet or read any article anywhere, you would think that there is a tsunami of artificial intelligence and technology gadgetry that seems to have swamped the world. Remember that it is in its latest form of ChatGPT, only less than 3 years old. It's like a 2.5-year-old infant, grown precociously to a level where everything today is considered to be solvable by technology and healthcare. So what is it really from a doctor's point of view, from an academic point of view, is what I would like to highlight. Can you imagine life, all of you, can you imagine life with these gadgets? The ubiquitous cell phone, the UPI system of which GPay is in everybody's pocket. Hardly anybody uses cash nowadays. Amazon, can you live without it? You can't. YouTube, which forms the crux of entertainment. When you travel, you navigate no longer by asking somebody on the road which way is this place going to, but just navigate on your cell phone and you get the answer. Music in the form of Spotify, which will make you listen to the best music anywhere in the world. And of course, Swiggy, that brings you tasty food to your doorstep, not necessarily healthy food. Can you live without these? I do not think so. Can you imagine medical practice today with these things? Up to date for medical students who can get ready answers just by flipping the pages of a smartphone, or you can have this which will measure your blood pressure instantly. Nowadays it's possible to do ultrasound and even echocardiography just using a handheld device, not those bulky 1-ton equipment that used to be what we studied cardiology on. Today it can be put into a pocket. Or the oximeter, which became very popular during the COVID pandemic, glucometer, which helps you to arrive at the blood sugar levels without having going to a doctor, and many other gadgets. And of course those who are working in the hospitals will know that electronic health records is now replaced completely the old paper records that were very cumbersome and laborious. But where did it all begin? In the early part of the 19th century, when most of our old hospitals began, it wasn't even called a hospital, it was called an infirmary. What was it? The picture will show you. It was one big hall like this where there were about 40 beds, all placed in serial order. There wasn't much of medicine, there was no anti-cancer treatment, no TB treatment. It was all tender loving care that nurses used to give. If you had tuberculosis, you would have to be put in a restricted area so that you don't spread the disease to the others. But people survived this, the infirmary age, because the nurses were trained to give care which was very basic, yet fully hands-on. They would treat every patient with loving care. In fact, this was the extension of nursing care into World War I and World War II, when there were hardly any medicines around, but they would treat orthopedic injuries, bullet wounds, etc., with whatever they had. So it was low-tech care, and then of course it moved to our age where we trained, where it became high-tech, techno-driven digital readout. And today if you go to an ICU, I'm sure in the Mission Hospital, your ICU will look like this. You can hardly see the patient. He's surrounded by gadgets and machines and drips and monitors that will keep beeping sound, beep, 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 beep. And the doctor sits at one end and he watches the screen and makes out what is wrong, who's having an emergency, who needs care. Very complicated, but life-saving. In fact, this is the technology that saved thousands of lives during the COVID pandemic. Of course, thousands died also because we could not provide them with this care. So definitely this is something that has been in the right direction. But remember that it converted the human being into numbers. The doctor need not have to look at the patient. He would sit behind the screen and just look at sodium 130, potassium 2.5, creatinine 3.2, and he can make out technology that came to the rescue of medicine. In 2025, we are at a watershed moment in the world, in everything, whether it is banking or flying the aircraft or politics, even healthcare. We are at that watershed moment when everything is being flipped around. That it is not just technology, but it has gone one step further to take over what the doctor's brains would do. To think, to apply logic is not necessary now. Artificial intelligence attempts to tell you before you can think it yourself. So it's become remote. You can today perform a cardiac surgery with the doctor in Mission Hospital, Durgapur, and the patient in Cuttack in Orissa. It's possible. It is artificially intelligent and it's algorithmized. It's based on logic, which is a product of inputs that have gone into in the form of zeros and ones, numerical data. That's the age that we are living in. Students who are listening to this must know that this is your future. We are all part of the burnt out era where we had to look at the patient and think before we could form a diagnosis. So it is all going to be data-based. Data is the new oil, they say. Everything is data. Today, we are indeed fortunate that we are using what I call transformative technology. 30 years ago, it was made possible for you to look at the inside of your stomach using a thin tube which would go in through your nose or through your mouth, shine light, take pictures, take biopsies. That was not only possible from the mouth end, it was also possible from the other end. And then that same technology became possible for people to put thin catheters into your arteries and veins and do things like angioplasties. It transformed medical care, and it is the reason why many people are alive and healthy today. The stent, this is magnified at least 5 times. But you can hardly see the stainless steel or platinum or cobalt coated wire. Looks like a ballpoint spring. It's just that small, which can be loaded and crimped onto a balloon. It will go into the finest arteries inside your heart, which is 1.5 millimeters in diameter, and it can be deployed. Amazing technology which has made possible for people to escape bypass surgery. Or this, the MRI machine, where it's possible to detect a brain tumor or a hemorrhage or an aneurysm even before it starts to give symptoms, and many people are diagnosed to have brain tumors before they have any symptom at all, thereby offering cure, complete cure to the problem. And of course, hundreds of point of care devices which you can hardly see, which is there in every small laboratory. Even in polyclinics, you have now possible to do a troponin, do a sodium, potassium, auto analyzers, which has made treatment very simple. What about this? This is again ultra magnified. This is a lens which can be put into your eyes through a small hole, which is 2 or 3 millimeters. It will just go in and place itself, which avoids the old-time cataract lenses which used to be like soda water bottle glass, so thick. Not just cosmetic, but efficient as well. And of course, in our field of cardiology, those who've got sudden cardiac death or suddenly collapse and die, it is possible to put in this little device, which is like a 50 paisa coin or 10 rupee coin today, under the skin, and it will connect to the heart, and they make it possible to give shocks so that you can be reverted out of this thing called arrhythmia. So this is the future which we have already enjoyed. This is the present, but it's going one step further. Today or tomorrow, it may be possible for the surgeon to use the eye knife, which means that as he cuts the tissue, instead of waiting for half an hour for the biopsy report to come, the biopsy can be given, the indication of whether that tissue is malignant or not can be given just by using an eye knife. You see the way technology has gone. This is what is called a bionic arm. Previously, those who had the misfortune of being in an accident and lose an arm, or a child who's born without an arm, or a soldier who's lost his arm in the battle, there was no hope for them. But today the bionic arm promises to bring them to some kind of quality of life as they move
Good morning,
forward.
Your Holiness. My name is Tilly, and I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you so much for inviting me. I had a severe disease when I was 15 months old called meningitis septicemia, and they basically said that I was 100% going to die, but somehow I pulled through and I'm here today. Well, since losing my hands, I lost them so young, and I can't remember ever having hands, but I always wanted them. So ever since then, I've been working with all kinds of tech companies trying to help develop bionic hands for people like me. These are from a company I'm working with currently called Open Bionics, and then we're trying to stray away from trying to blend in. We want to embrace the fact that we're unique. We don't mind being different. The hand I've had in the past were made to be really realistic.
Hold. Can you give His Holiness a hand?
Oh,
quite strong, quite strong.
So this is the prototype of the bionic arm. There are lots of people with bionic arms who are living nearly normal lives, not perfect. But I'm showing this video just to emphasize on how much technology has brought forward healthcare in the current age that we live in. And in the future, many more things are going to come. Nanomedicine, it's possible now to operate using nano devices which will go into your system without the surgeon needing to get to you with a knife. Today in the world, there are hundreds and maybe thousands and thousands of healthcare and medical apps, some of which will be already on your phone, about diet, about exercise, about mental peace, about yoga, everything that relates to health. Today people have developed apps which may work, which may not work. There are wellness apps like My Next Dairy, My Fitness Pal, some of them which I've just shown it to you, just to show you how much technology has come into your personal lives. Your personal phone, your home, your children are all using these apps for good or bad. But it is all claiming to make you a better, healthy person. So have no doubt, I know that some of you are engineering students, have no doubt that technology is here to stay. There's no escape from the reality of technology. And as I mentioned, 2.5 years ago came this refined form of artificial intelligence, which by the way is not new. Artificial intelligence has been in the making since 1959, but it's evolved and grown and fine-tuned to its finest form. Now there are more called ChatGPT, which attempts to do lots of things that takes away the need for you and I to use the brain. It has taken over what the head is supposed to do by use of algorithmic logic. And it is, as far as medicine is concerned, rivaling clinical thinking. And it assumes that it's all basing itself on millions and millions of bytes of data which has already been fed into the system. And it's creating a pattern of logic that is straight. 1,000 cases said this, so this is maybe your diagnosis. And I have no doubt that this will soon be the gold standard in everything, whether it's pathology or microbiology or surgical decisions, it will be the benchmark. And therefore, as somebody described, this is going to be the new Pentagon of medicine. Pentagon in the US is where all the strategy is made as far as battle is concerned. In medicine, AI is going to be the Pentagon where everything in 5 to 10 years' time will be decided by artificial intelligence. 80 million wearable wireless devices have already been used by 2016, and this number is only growing as this graph will show, especially in the last 2.5 years. You just look into your home and your office and see how many apps and how many gadgets have now come in. So the question I want to place before you is, what is the purpose of technology? The purpose of technology is to make things very efficient and easy. And it is surely making it very easy. You just look at the way you navigate when you go to a strange place. Just put few buttons here and it'll tell you the road, the left, the right, by voice and by visuals. It has a multiplier effect. The efficiency can be scaled to 10x, 50x, 100x within no time. It saves time, as you can see, and it gives unbiased objectivity. And of course, when it comes to healthcare, it is also claiming to do patient empowerment. If you are a patient and you get chest pain and you are in a strange place, if you have AI or technology with you, something can be done. You can access that and it will tell you, take a deep breath, cough 3 times, lie on your side, whatever it is. That information that is not available without the use of that gadget. So it is about patient empowerment as well. What does technology do and how does it do it? First is it is mechanized. Lots of devices have been made and it's mechanized what you and I would do with the hands. It has miniaturized, and today it is not that tube that I showed you 10 slides back. But today there's something called capsule endoscopy, which means there's a small capsule which has got a camera inside. You swallow that and it'll keep taking pictures as it goes through from your mouth to the other end. And it can be accessed. So there's no need to put even a tube. Miniaturized form of endoscopy. It has virtualized care. You can sit anywhere and contact your doctor who's 10,000 miles away, and it's possible to get an opinion from him. It has digitized apps and it's made data mining a child's play by the use of artificial intelligence and all that. Now, I have said so many good things about AI. But I want to tell you as a clinician, from what I see, from what I hear from patients directly, is that it is beginning to impact the care culture that you and I are familiar with. Remember that when you go to a hospital, you don't go there for gadgets. Why would you go to a hospital? You are in pain, you've got lots of tension, your mind is full of doubts, you may have little money in the pocket, and therefore you go to a doctor because you want to feel comforted, as Partho said a while ago. You're looking for empathy. and that cannot be given by gadgets. So it's beginning to impact the care culture. By making healthcare distanced, doctors are today not keen to talk to patients because they have an EMR and the EMR will tell them what to do, and they have the gadgets that will diagnose, and now AI will tell you the diagnosis, so there's no need to even think. It has become desensitized. Is there a need for me to listen to the patient's sad story? Do I have the time? Is the question that technology is posing before us, and it has become depersonalized. I don't care, the machine will tell me. Yeah, it's okay, go to the lab, AI will tell you the exact diagnosis, so on and so forth. Let me ask, I know there are a lot of men here, but let me ask the women who have been through childbearing or are yet to go to childbearing. Would you like to have an obstetrician like this, who will come and attend to your delivery without a human being in between? Perfectly, better than the doctor. I don't think the answer today is yes. You are still looking for that kind-hearted lady doctor who will tap you on your back and tell you, my dear, I know what this feeling is, I've been through it myself. This is what it will mean. You will soon have a child. There will be a normal delivery. There will be some blood loss. But it will all be a happy ending. Will Dr. Robo do this? I'm not very sure. Listen to this video. This is from a famous author now. He's written this book called Covenant of Water, but he's a physician. And this is what he has to say.
A 40-year-old woman came to an emergency room in a hospital close to where I live, and she was brought in confused. Her blood pressure was an alarming 230 over 170. Within a few minutes, she went into cardiac collapse. She was resuscitated, stabilized, whisked over to a CAT scan suite right next to the emergency room because they were concerned about blood clots in the lung. And the CAT scan revealed no blood clots in the lung, but it showed bilateral, visible, palpable breast masses, breast tumors that had metastasized widely all over the body. And the real tragedy was, if you look through her records, she had been seen at 4 or 5 other healthcare institutions in the preceding 2 years. 4 or 5 opportunities to see the breast masses, touch the breast mass, intervene at a much earlier stage than when we saw her. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not an unusual story. Unfortunately, it happens all the time. I joke, but I only half joke, that if you come to one of our hospitals missing a limb, no one will believe you till they get a CAT scan, MRI, or orthopedic consult. I am not a Luddite. I teach at Stanford. I'm a physician practicing with cutting-edge technology, but I'd like to make the case to you in the next 17 minutes that when we shortcut the physical exam, when we lean towards ordering tests instead of talking to and examining the patient, we not only overlook simple diagnoses that can be diagnosed at a treatable early stage, but we're losing much more than that. We're losing a ritual. We're losing a ritual that I believe is transformative, transcendent, and is at the heart of the patient-physician relationship. This may actually be heresy to say this at TED, but I'd like to introduce you to the most important innovation, I think, in medicine to come in the next 10 years, and that is the power of the human hand to touch, to comfort, to diagnose, and to bring about treatment.
So whether you are students of technology or engineering or healthcare or laboratory sciences, I'm submitting to you this evening that we need to reorient our approach to technology. As I said earlier, there's no escape. Technology is here to stay more and more. But what is our attitude to technology? Are we going to embrace technology as it comes, buy every gadget and find that 80% of them are actually useless? How do we choose this? What is right? So first of all, we have to understand that technology is a support system, not a replacement for the doctor. not even a replacement for an engineer, not a replacement for a banker. Now you might say that we can go and take everything from a teller machine, but let me tell you, in the next 30 years, healthcare is not going to be delivered through an ATM machine because it is very emotive. There's a lot of pain and suffering for a patient when he is trying to access a healthcare delivery system. So technology is at best a support for clinical judgment. Technology is a good slave, but never a good master. Be a bad master. So those who are fascinated with technology, let me just put a humble reminder that don't become a slave to the internet or to the gadgets or to the gaming technology or even AI, because it is eroding your innate capacity, God-given capacity, this 1,300 grams of soft tissue inside the skull, which has been responsible for developing artificial intelligence. Technology needs its limits defined. How much will you allow technology? Technology, if it is unaffordable, is useless. If I tell you that I have a technology which will cost you, 50,000 rupees a day for 1 year, and it'll cure your cancer, is it of any use to the common man? It may be of use to 1% of our population, but it's of no use. And therefore, if technology is transformative, it must also bring the cost of everything down. If it's taking it up, then we need to question. Technology needs to be compassionate. The human part of the human being cannot be replaced. And if you bring compassionate technology, then you have a winner on your hands. So after 30 years of practicing clinical medicine and now in a position of leadership, getting into rural, CSR supported healthcare, this is what I have learned. That as far as health is concerned, there is nothing that can replace the real presence of a doctor or a nurse or a technician, even an administrator. And I'm sure Partho, as medical director, is walking down the corridors to meet his people. He cannot just sit in his chamber and then address people on teleconferencing. There is some value in the real presence. It is about communication. So I talk to you, you are a human being first. Your illness is within you. Am I treating just your illness, your symptoms, your numbers that come from the laboratory, or am I treating you as X or Y is the question that you need to ask. We need to spend time. Just like a mother spends time with her child and a teacher with a student, time is needed. You just heard about touch. Very important. So it's not just for doctors, it's for administrators, it's for managers, it's for leaders that please invest in this 5 fingers called touch. Touch your customer, shake hands with him, embrace him appropriately, and you see how your business will begin to thrive. It must be continuous. Today's problems is an app comes, it's a big hit. Valuations are done, and when 6 months later, that fellow has sold the app off and is disappeared. Money has been made, but where is the continuity? Think about it. Think of an app that you used 3 years ago and see whether it exists today. 80% of them would be non-existent. Technology is failing, and Partho mentioned it again, is because it is not affordable. You need to have availability, which means it's easily accessible, and there has to be an attitude of caring behind it. And above all, it should be lovable, affable. Care has to be affable. People will come to you as a doctor because they look forward to coming and meeting you, not coming and getting treatment. Why do you go to a barber, a favorite barber? Because there is something in that man that helps you smile. It's the same thing for administrators, for engineers, for construction experts. It's about the question of all-round care. Let me present to you some ironical facts. The illness pool in India is enlarging. Okay? This is despite technology. You look at any statistic, whether it is high blood pressure, 1 in 4 of Indians are having blood pressure, 1 in 4 is a pre-diabetic, 1 in 12 has got mental disorder. Since COVID, the illness pool is enlarging despite breakthrough in fantastic drugs and health tech. Nobody will tell you this, but that's a fact. Wellness pool is reducing despite many efforts. Just go to the internet. There is yoga program, pranayama program, this program, reels will tell you 10 methods of being fit, 10 methods of putting on proteins, all kinds of things. But there are less well people in our country today than there was in 2021. There are many new diseases, more new diseases than the ones that have been eradicated. What's been eradicated? Smallpox? What else? Polio is not eradicated. Polio is surging again. There are cases of polio in India. Is malaria eradicated? Is leprosy eradicated? The answer is no. The government will tell you it's eradicated. The truth is no. You go to a hospital in Allahabad called Naini Leprosy Mission Hospital, and they will tell you that every day they see 10 to 15 brand new cases of leprosy. So nothing has been eradicated except smallpox. There's a care asymmetry, which means that despite all the claims that we make, the treatment is not equal. If you have money, insurance, sponsored, celebrity, VIP, you get the best care. But if you don't have, then you suffer. Health information does not convert to health awareness. There's lots of information, but the awareness about health is very poor in the Indian public. Good health care is not necessarily an expensive proposition. Let me submit this to you. It's just by adopting some good practices that you can be healthy. This is the story of India, and I'm sure you will gel with this. About maybe 2 years ago, one of India's billionaires who was a master at stocks and shares, people used to take classes from him, he suddenly died. And all he left was an airline as a legacy. He was obese. I believe he had hypertension and diabetes. All the wealth in the world, but where did it take him? In the last 2 months, maybe a little more, you've heard of 2 CEOs under the age of 45 who had heart attacks and died. In India, there's a CEO of an investor company who had a stroke. There was a singer from West Bengal who suddenly collapsed on stage. An actor in his 40s died in a gymnasium in Karnataka. And an actor committed suicide 2 years ago. Still nobody knows why. And remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. For every celebrity that attracts your attention, there are about 100 ordinary people who die of the same problem. And therefore, what I want to do is to emphasize, against the backdrop of technology, where we stand, and it's important to take this message home, that illness is moving down the age spectrum. Today, heart attacks is not a disease of the 50-year-old. It's happening in 25-year-old, 30-year-old, correct? Sudden cardiac death, young strokes, young diabetics. I'm involved with pre-employment checkup for my company. It's just mind-boggling to know that tests will show that many of these recruits, new recruits, between the ages of 25 and 30 are already diabetics. Understanding wellness before illness is very important. Prevention, promotion, prescription, 3 Ps that will determine your health. Now remember that up to maybe 10 years back, up to 2021, you had communicable diseases and blood pressure and all those things occurring very, very infrequently. But in 2021, everything changed with the advent of COVID. And after COVID, every year there's been one viral pandemic. You can call it Omicron or MERS or SARS or whatever. In 2025, we are affected by lifestyle diseases. And today, 60% of your problems that will trouble you is because of lifestyle diseases, which is obesity, addictions, starting from cigarettes to whatever else you can think about, trauma, road traffic accidents, sudden death, etc., etc. So there are many diseases that technology is attempting to solve. But the truth is this, that against the backdrop of this, your illness pool is enlarging. Okay, now this is an audience that has got 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40, 50. Maybe you're starting a job, you're just married, you're well settled, you're looking to invest your hard-earned money. Maybe you're supporting your father, mother, siblings, commencing or peaking a career. The question is, where do you look at yourself as an individual 20 years from now? Do you have a vision? Not your career, where will you be from your health perspective? If not, it is worth thinking about this question. 20 years from now, how will I look? Of course, the hair will go or the hair will become white. All that's accepted. But what about your body, your hypertension, diabetes, metabolic parameters, etc.? Do this for me, please. Just to break the monotony of a long lecture. Take a deep breath and hold it for 30 seconds. Don't breathe out. Hold, take a deep breath, hold it for 30 seconds. I'm counting. Young people also, you can please do it. Somebody is pinching the nose, don't do that. Okay, can you do it? How many could not? Raise your hand. Be honest. Why, all of you are very fit, huh? Very good. Excellent. Can you climb 2 flights of stairs without panting? No? Okay, I won't make you do this, but do this when you go home. Stand, cross your arms, lift one leg and see how much you can stand. 3 years ago, I saw a video of some of our very famous ministers who were on National Yoga Day. They were trying to do this and wobbling all over the place. Ministers, unfit. Try this. And if you can't do this, see whether you can do this over a period of time. What is your body mass index? It's a straightforward calculation of height by weight. If it is more than 25, then you need to do something. How many hours do you sleep? 8 hours? Sir, the students are all saying 8 hours we must sleep. So, how many hours do you sleep? 8 hours? 6 hours? 7 hours? 6 hours? Well, I've got some shocking statistics of young people, how much they actually sleep, which I won't tell you now, but I'll tell it to you in privately. If they sleep for 4 hours without the cell phone or gaming in the night, you're lucky. So the emphasis of technology is not to add years to life, but it is to add life to your years. I'll just leave that statement with you. Every time you take a gadget or an app, or you are keeping awake 2 a.m., 3 a.m., ask this question. Is it helping me become a healthier individual or not? There is a rise in lifestyle diseases which is alarming. Our Honorable Prime Minister gave a speech on obesity in a sports institute about 2 months ago. And of course, everybody responded. He said something about reducing 10% of cooking oil, etc. But the reason why he highlighted is he's been told that obesity is an epidemic in India. So is blood pressure. So is diabetes. So is stress-related disorders. So are problems with children, psychological problems. So it's important to know how to adopt technology. Let me just tell you that there are some life-threatening illnesses of organ systems that will kill you, that does not allow you to live. One is heart. Anything that will cause a decrease in its pump function or electrical function can endanger your life. The brain, if it clots or it bleeds, both, can leave you with a stroke. Infections like bacterial, fungal, viral sepsis, we know what happened during COVID. It was a bad viral infection that killed thousands and thousands of people. Cancer detected beyond stage 2. Lung infections, and those who live in polluted environments have to be careful. And of course, extremes of psychological spectrum disorders, psychiatric maladjustments, etc. And of course, accidents. We are living in a very busy world. This is the burden of NCDs in India: diabetes, cardiovascular disease, asthma, ischemic heart disease, and stroke. Now, there are some life-sustaining wellness principles which you need to carefully do. It's very easy. I have made it very, very simple. It's not medical. It is in lay language. One is keep all tubes open. Now, what do I mean by that? You know, your body is full of tubes. Your gut is a tube. Your lung is a tube. Your arteries and veins are tubes. Problems come when they start getting blocked, just like the pipe in your toilet. So keep all tubes open. You know what will happen if the lower end you're constipated? You feel healthy? You know what will happen if you have ulcer and it's not allowing the tube, the food to pass through? Or a tumor that presses on the intestine. These are all blocks. When the lung gets blocked because of asthma, you have breathing difficulty. When the arteries get blocked inside the heart, you get a heart attack. When the veins get blocked, you start swelling. When the kidneys get blocked with stone, you have problems. The general principle is see that all your tubes are open. Keep all parts active. Your hand, your brain, your thighs, your muscles, your internal organs, if you are active, today's technology does the opposite. It does not help you to be active, it is helping you to be inactive, lazy, and sedentary. Keep all things in moderation. Some things we do in excess. Technology. Once we get hooked on to the internet, it goes on. Before you realize, 2 hours have gone. Correct? Doing things in moderation. Everything is good, but do it in moderation, except for things that are clearly not permissible. Keep all parameters checked. If you have crossed 30, every year you need a medical checkup. And if the doctor has prescribed you something, you must take it. Don't say that the doctor doesn't know. Or keep shopping for doctors. Stick to one family physician and take the medicines that he is prescribing. And keep health holistic. The definition that Partho gave, it is not absence of disease or infirmity, but a state of being physically, mentally, and socially healthy. So there's a social life as well. The day has 24 hours. Why not 20 hours? Why not 25? Because it's equally divisible by 3. And those 3 parts are 8 hours of work, 8 hours of resting, and 8 hours of living. I repeat, 8 hours of living. What is work? Whatever work you do, including studies by students, your finances, your well-being, your work-life balance, career, progress, board meetings, everything comes in that work. Now, you could work 9 hours on one day, doesn't matter. You could work 7 hours on the other day, doesn't matter, but an average of 8 hours per day. What is living? This is the important thing that is being sacrificed today with technology. Health, time for family, relationships, travel, personal care. These are being sacrificed because of our engagement with technology. Because do you notice that children don't like to interact with adults, even with parents, because they are busy with their entertainment? It is making them unsocial. They are not learning social etiquettes, and they grow into becoming isolated creatures satisfied with their small world of themselves, self-adoration, self-adulation, selfie taking. We've all grown up with cameras, the old cameras would take the picture of everybody other than yourself. Today's selfie does the opposite. You take your picture and not take anybody else's. That is how it has inverted. I'm saying this, these are the pitfalls of technology. Resting, sleep, 8 hours average, vacation, meditation, spirituality, whatever else you have. So I'm going to stop now. I think I've exceeded my time. I'm leaving you with some goals for 2025 and beyond under these 6 headings: diet, environment, mind, exercise, and of course your soul or spirituality. Diet. If you look at the internet, there are lots of diets. There's Atkins diet, there's paleo diet, there's keto diet, there's fasting, intermittent fasting, vegan diet and all that. Don't get carried away by any of these. These are all gimmicks to make you dramatically lose weight. They are not healthy at all. I'm telling you this as a doctor. Okay? Instead, just use some diet facts. One is to understand that becoming fat is not because you are consuming more fat. Take away this idea. Obesity is more because of carbohydrate intake or calorie intake than fats. Fasting is good if it is done under medical supervision. Don't do fasting because your friend told you that if you fast for 18 hours a day and then eat, it may work for you. You may become pencil thin, but you will put on the same amount of weight once the fasting is over. Minimize carbs and optimize proteins and fats. Eggs are not harmful for health. Eggs are not harmful for health. Please take eggs if you can, 2 or 3 a day. Non-vegetarian and vegetarian have the same risks and benefits. Please don't be under the impression that if you're a non-veg, you will get a heart attack. And if you're a vegan, you will not. There is no data that supports it. Optimize quantity more than minimize quality. Eat everything you want, which the doctor is okay with. But it's the quantity that matters. So instead of taking 3 big meals, take 5 small meals and you'll be fine. Minimize sugar. Sugar is poison number 1. If you can avoid that, then you have these principles and practices that all natural food is good and essential. I come from a society where our mothers used to say, if you take curd, you will get cold. If you have cold, you should not eat ice cream. If you take onions, then you will have piles. All kinds of, misconceptions, which is there in every society, I'm sure. But all natural food is good and essential. All aspects of food are needed: carbs, proteins, fats, fruits, fluids, minerals. That's why God has made all these things in the world. Carbohydrates are needed, not in excess, but that's your fuel. That was what gives you energy. Protein builds your muscle. Fat gives you the texture of your skin and many other things inside the body. Fluids to keep your waterworks open, and minerals that help your brain to be in good health. Small frequent feeds I mentioned, like the bird. Have you ever seen a bird overeating? That's your model. They'll come and do tick, 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 fly off, burn it, come back, tick, 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 about 1,000 times a day. And they are light and they are healthy. So you must shift to small frequent feeds. Good breakfast, that's your driving meal for everybody. Students, managers, doctors, your main meal is not lunch, it's breakfast. 60 minutes after you wake up. Frugal lunch. Frugal lunch. Don't have 4-story tiffin carrier which goes bing, 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 bing on the table. That's our culture, but I can submit that that is not good. Optimize your dinner. Let it be the most enjoyable meal with your family. Switch this friend off. Put the TV off. Call your children, grandchildren, friends. Talk what happened on the day. No time limits. Enjoy. That's the most enjoyable meal. Plenty of vegetables and fruits of all colors. The more colored the vegetable, naturally colored, not artificially, the better it is. Beetroot, carrots, greens. Plenty of clear fluids. 6 to 8 glasses of water a day minimum. If you can take more, that's good. Healthy oils like canola, sunflower, seed oils, etc. Festival time is Mishti time. Very attractive. But remember, these colors that make your eyes very, magnetized, they are all artificial colors. Some of them are not even food grade. If you go to the roadside halwais. So you must minimize that. I'm not saying avoid it. Because there are dyes, there are preservatives, there is oil that has been cooked and reheated several times. It's not fresh and there are flies on that which can give you an infection. Even something that looks as white as this may not be healthy. So you got to use your discretion. AI will not come to help you with this. You got to use your logic to say that this is good, this is not good. This is a joke about David's sculpture made by Michelangelo. This is just a joke, it's fiction. Michelangelo went to the United States, sponsored for a course, 2-year course to Harvard. This is how he came back. Okay, of course it was sponsored by, you can see which other companies that sponsored, you can make this into Indian equivalents as well. What about diabetes? 1 in 4 Indians are pre-diabetic. It's all about sugar. Okay, root tubers, not just sugar, but things like aloo and sweet potatoes and things like that are very heavy. Ripe bananas are very heavy. Some fruits like ripe mangoes, sapota, or what's called chiku, and some fruits that are very sweet obviously has got more. Cereals have to be controlled. Fruit juices have to be controlled. Or in a typical South Indian thali meal, you invert. What is shown is rice as your main dish and these side dishes plenty. The best way to know what to do with your rice is to invert that. Make rice your side dish and make all the vegetables your main dish. I can guarantee you your sugars will come down like this. Okay. Finally, exercise. There is no formula for exercise except that you must do it every day, 5 days a week, up to 60 minutes a day. Don't have to join any gymnasium. Your backyard, your pavement, your open space in your institution is more than enough. And caution, please do not overdo your exercise. The sudden deaths that you hear of young people, fit people suddenly collapsing in the gymnasium or on a marathon or on doing something crazy is because they have overdone and exceeded their physiological limits. Start slow. First day, 300 steps. Next day, 400. Scale it up to your level of comfort. Weight loss is induced not by exercise, but by diet. If you want to lose weight, diet is your first target. Exercise is your second target. Do not use energy drinks like Red Bull and Camper Protein and things like that. They've got substances that can cause you sudden cardiac death. Of course, cancer. Everyone has a relative or someone who has cancer. And in India, as of today, there are 4 cancers on the rise. Please listen to this carefully. Breast and prostate is going up. Between the ages of 0 to 54, cancer colon and cancer rectum is on the rise. Again, it's because of this increase in the fast food culture. And in women, cervical cancers are going up. So for cancer goals for today, 2025, is to believe that prevention is better than cure, which means you have your checkups regularly, get the cancer diagnosed earlier, because stage 0, 1 and 2 is curable for most cancers. Beyond that, it is doubtful. If you've crossed 20, do a yearly checkup. It's an investment which you must do. Red alerts, which you can see if you are just attentive and careful. Anything, a swelling anywhere on the body, bumps, any pain that is not subsiding in 2 weeks' time, any abnormal bleeding from the nose, from the rectum, from the mouth, or from any passage is a red alert. You must go to the doctor immediately. Men who have crossed 40, prostate, lower gut, upper gut, women, uterus and breast must be carefully examined every year. Remove all irritants. Anything that irritates the tissue becomes cancerous. So if you've got a sharp tooth, get that dentist to remove that tooth. Don't use gutka or chewable particles. They are all irritants, and that the body will react. Smoking, of course, gutka, alcohol, pollution is a big cause of lung cancers as we see it. I'm a cardiologist. This is my favorite organ. It's an amazing organ because it serves as a battery and as a pump. And it sustains life. If the heart stops for 30 seconds, the blood flow to the brain will stop and you will collapse. It's also the seat of emotion. A lot of what we talked about, which makes us human beings, is because of the heart. If you calculate the number of beats in a 70-year lifetime at the rate of 70 per minute, engineering students can do it like that, or you can use AI to give you the final figures. You will see how efficient this organ is. It beats so many times in a year and about a million times in a lifetime. So take care of your heart, and there is no battery change that is needed. But the truth, the sad truth is that 1 in 4 deaths in India is because of some kind of heart disease. And I was talking to Partho, he said that yes, they are beginning to hear and see post-COVID sudden cardiac deaths that are coming to hospitals, and I'm sure you would have heard of that. So the goals for you against the face of technology is that if you've crossed 25, you could have a heart attack. Not that you will, but you could. And therefore take care of everything that is a risk factor, like high blood pressure, diabetes, blood pressure, stress, and smoking. If you feel chest pain or breathless at normal activity and have palpitations or sudden giddiness, go to the doctor, any doctor, and they will put you on the right track. If you have crossed 45, you must have a yearly checkup, risk factors. Take your medication regularly, just like you brush your teeth. Finally, family. Quality time, it's very therapeutic, and we have ignored this because the family norms are being challenged by technology. You don't want to spend time with one another, neither with your children nor with your spouse, because you're busy answering phone calls or sending messages or reading reels or things like that. It's about quality time. Family's health is just as important. Is your child fit or is he fat? Most mothers think that if a child is like that, he's very healthy. It's the other way around. Is your child happy at school? Inquire. Is your child doing well scholastically? If yes, good. If not, why not? This is all part of that overall definition of your health, of being physically, mentally, and socially robust. parental neglect can worsen autism, attention deficits, and juvenile behavior in children. And if you have a child at home who's affected by this, believe me, it will affect your health. It will affect your work. It will affect your life in general. So family becomes an important part of your overall sense of health. Some startling facts, and I think this is my last slide. 85% of health advice online is wrong. Okay? Detox is a scam. Immune boosters is a scam. Fitness is more by exercise than by diet. I mentioned it's the other way around. Weight loss is more by dieting than by exercise. A typical Indian diet is protein deficient. Green tea will not help you lose weight. Intermittent fasting and binge eating will only make you put on weight. There are scientific trials that show this. There is no safe limit to alcohol. No exercise exclusively targets just belly fat. 90% of patients do not need to consume vitamins. If you are eating healthy diet, it is okay to drink water before and during meals. Sitting for 8 hours and not moving will augment your punch. Unregulated, unsupervised fitness overdrive may cause you sudden death. Energy drinks do not give any energy. They are toxic. Muscle building does not translate to cardiac fitness. Therefore, to do all this, you don't need technology. You need 5 simple things, the total cost of which will be about 5,000 rupees. See whether you can invest it. A tailor's tape costs 30 rupees. This is for men to measure their paunch. If it's approaching 38, 40, be careful. A blood pressure apparatus, which today you can buy for 1,800 rupees. A weighing scale in your toilet, bathroom, which will tell you whether your weight is going up or not. A full-size mirror in your living room. You can once in a while pose yourself to see whether the paunch is out. You can see patches which you may not detect. A full-size mirror. Costly, it will cost about, and a glucometer. Invest in these things. How much of technology do you need to keep yourself in good health? Nothing at all. And if you have a dog, expensive. The dog can take you for a walk. After, for some time, you take the dog for a walk. It will give you good health. And of course, some vaccinations. Every September, you must take your flu vaccine. Everyone. It helps you prevent 60% to 70% protection against the winter flu vaccine. If you are over the age of 65, you must take a pneumococcal vaccine because pneumonia is the commonest cause of death in the elderly. If you have parents at home in that age group, it's worth spending 3,000 rupees and give that vaccination code. There's no role for COVID boosters now, but if the advisory comes from the government, do that. And if you are a traveler or a food handler, you must take your hepatitis vaccine. Finally, as I said, we live in an age that is wired with technology, wireless as well as wired. I don't know how many cables are connecting my system. Life is wired. And if you go to an ICU, this is what it might be in the future. Everything will be connected. But you'll be fighting life and death. This is a very emotionally moving picture that I've captured from the internet. This was during COVID. When this COVID-affected patient was connected, fighting for life. But there was something missing. You know what that was? It was the touch of that nurse, and that nurse could not touch him because of COVID. So this is what she devised. She took 2 gloves, connected it, and filled it with warm water as a symbol of warm, tender love. Did it have a role in the midst of technology? It had. So whatever technology may do, whatever artificial intelligence may do, whether you're a doctor, a physician, a leader, a banker, a construction, an engineer, an airline pilot, I believe as a clinician that there's nothing that can replace you as a human being. So, as you swim into this ocean of technology, of artificial intelligence, as you keep hearing that AI will replace doctors or rival doctors, and Bill Gates has said that in the next 10 years, everything will be done by AI. Famous statement just a week back. I don't think that will come true, because a human being that inhabits this planet will continue to reign supreme, because what is enclosed in this skull, 1,300 grams of brain matter, is God's creation. And it cannot be replaced by any technology. Technology has replaced our hands by automation. Today, it is replacing our brain by artificial intelligence. The last bastion for AI will be the heart. Soft, tender love, what makes you a parent, what makes you a teacher, what makes you a doctor. That cannot be replaced. I believe, at least in our lifetime, we don't see artificial intelligence replacing the human heart. Thank you and God bless.
So we have a question answer session. So you please be on stage. Educative, entertaining, and absolutely fascinating. I'm sure that we were enraptured by all the things that the doctor said. It was very, what can I say? It was very moving. So I now would like to, I am brimming with questions. I would like to have an open house where our students and our entire audience will have the privilege of asking questions to the famous Dr. Chandy himself. Anyone in the audience who would like to go first? Yes, yes. May we have the mic over to him, please? Over to her. Yes. Show me, I believe. Yes, from BHM. Yes.
Good evening, sir. I am Shomi Biswas of BHM department, 4th semester. We extend our hand of gratitude for lending us your precious time. And sir, I am highly obliged to have a session with you. So my question to you is, sir, what are the risks or challenges which we need to address and tackle that are associated with the use of technology in advancing healthcare?
Very broad question. Thank you for that. I think most of it I have covered. I started off by saying that technology is not something you can wish away. It is coming in a big way, and we are blessed by technology, because a lot of good things in healthcare today, as I mentioned, the MRI scan, the miniaturized technology, etc., has made healthcare what it is. But this tsunami of artificial intelligence, where it is claiming to be replacing the human mind, is where there is a problem. Because if in healthcare, if it takes away your empathy and compassion and the need to listen to the patient and say that machines will do everything, we will be very unhappy. You put yourself in a patient's, you've got a pain, at the backside, and you go to a doctor and the doctor records everything and the AI will tell the doctor this is the diagnosis. How will you feel? So
Devoid of emotion.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is the take home message is this, don't get carried away by the hype that AI is presenting today. Embrace what you think will work. There are lots of things that will work. For example, precision using AI in MRI diagnosis. It's able to pick up small tumors which the human eye cannot. Good. But to bring in AI to listen to the patient and then tell the doctor this is the diagnosis, then there's no need for anybody to do MBBS. You see, so you have to, there's no formula that I can give you, but each technology that comes to you, you've got a question. Three things. Is it useful? Is it friendly? Is it cost effective? Is it sustainable? If the answer is yes, 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 you have a good technology in your hand. Take it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, next question. Is there anyone else? Oh, I see several hands. Yes, may we have the hand at the back, please? Oh dear.
Good
Yeah.
evening, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. I can't, yeah, okay, go ahead.
I am Suman Upadhyay of BHM Department, Section B, 4th semester. Sir, I have a question. How can we ensure patient data privately and securely in a digital healthcare system?
Just repeat that again, the first part.
How can we ensure patient data privacy and securely in our digital healthcare system?
Okay, so currently this is the biggest challenge that electronic health record is facing. One is the data reliable. Okay, suppose you are the patient and I am the doctor, you are telling me your story and I am feeding into the system what I have understood from you, which may be biased, which may not be exactly the way it is. That's the data that's going in. That's one problem. The second problem is who owns the data? This is your private details. Are you the owner? Am I the owner? Or is the AI system the owner? This is a big controversy, big debate going on in the AI world about data privacy. So there are lots of rules that are coming in, who owns the data, and is it okay for anonymize your data and put it into the system for the benefit of mankind? All kinds of ethical questions are being raised. So to be honest with you, I can't give you the answer as to how do we ensure data purity or data privacy, because that is still work in progress. Maybe in 1 or 2 years we will have some ethical standpoint on this. But right now it is confusing. In fact, there are many people who refuse to tell the history, their personal history, if they know that there's an AI scribe noting down. Okay? So the answer is, I'm not sure as to where we stand in terms of data privacy. But maybe in 2 years' time there will be some regulations that will come from the Medical Ethics Society of India or wherever, saying that this is the way your data will enter into the AI system. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think that answers your question very perfectly, crystal clear. Anyone else? Anyone else from the audience? Yes.
Good evening, sir. My
Good
name
evening.
is Aditya Roy. I am from BHM department.
Yep.
Sir, my question is, do you think technology can replace human doctors in the future? Not now, in the future.
It will, okay, a good question. So, there are 3 parts to a patient's journey. All right. One is the pre-doctor phase. From the time you develop your first symptom till the time you sit in front of your doctor. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is that private space between you and the doctor consulting, the actual care journey. And then there is a post-doctor's phase, which means after you are treated, you leave the hospital, you have come for follow-up, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. where there will be some questions asked and some medications given. So that's phase 3. Phase 1 and phase 3, I think it will completely be taken over by AI. Suppose I have a chest pain, you can interrogate a system and say, I have chest pain, I'm in Durgapur, where do I go? Immediately it will give you the answer, is the chest pain on the left side, right side. If it is this, then there's a logic. You go to Mission Hospital and see such and such a doctor. They can even help you with the appointment. But once you sit in front of the doctor, I believe, even 10 years from now, the doctor will have to be there. You cannot replace the doctor. Because your story is unique. How it developed, what are the circumstances, what is your background, what is your job, only I understand. It's a private conversation between you, very confidential, mind you. You are giving your private life details to me under this understood oath that it will remain confidential. You know, doctors are not supposed to divulge patient secrets even to their spouses. That's the degree of confidentiality. So that is a private space, deeply personal and sacrosanct. I don't think AI can penetrate that. But once I made the diagnosis and I finished the treatment, okay, and you are leaving the hospital, I give you a discharge summary, and there is a drug scheduling, follow-up visit, maybe the nurse visit, which day you come back to the hospital, phone number, all those things can be managed by AI. Okay, so the answer is 10 years from now, that central phase, central segment of physician care will not be replaced.
Thank you, sir.
That's a relief. So, any more questions from our dignitaries, from our faculty members? Yes. We have come to the very fag end of our session. I know it's difficult, but...
Ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, please go on.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dipendu Nayak from BMCM, second sem. So my question is, are there any ethical concerns related to AI-driven healthcare?
Lots.
AI-driven decision making.
Today there are lots. So I mentioned this, data purity. How reliable and true is the data? Because today it's a second-hand feeding. Now when you have an AI recording system, paperless recording system, they are developing that as the patient says the story, there is a recording event which will convert it to text. In that, the ethical question is data privacy. Can that data be accessed by my junior resident in the ward? Who gave him permission? What does he do with it? Third is data dredging. How do you prevent your data being used as for research without your permission, your consent? Fourth is data sale. There are hackers who are taking away data from hospital and using it for commercial research, for drug development, etc. So today it is beleaguered with lots and lots of ethical questions. It's in its infancy. It will take 5-6 years before there is clarity on the ethical questions of AI. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
So students, that's a whole lot of range of projects and research ideas for you. So any more questions? Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for Dr. Chandy, please. We would love to have you again, sir. It was really, really great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes. Please be seated. Audience, please be seated. Please be seated. I would request all our students and audience to maintain the decorum, please. Thank you. Thank you. So, what a fascinating session. Now, we have almost come to the end of today's exquisite, fascinating session. Now, may we please have the man behind the event, the head of the Department of Hospital Management, the organizing chairman of today's wonderful event, Professor Apurbo Chakraborty, for the closing remarks and vote of thanks, please.
Good evening, everyone. As we draw the curtain on today's impactful celebration of World Health Day 2025, it is my honor and privilege to extend my vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Hospital Management, Dr. B.C. Rai Academy of Professional Courses. First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to the Chief Speaker and Chief Guest of this event, Dr. Sunil Chandy sir, who is Chief Medical Officer of ITC India. Sir, your insightful words, rich experience have truly added immense value to our event. Thank you, sir, for coming. A very special thanks goes to Dr. Parthopal sir, Medical Director of the Mission Hospital, Durgapur. Sir, without your kind efforts, support, we would not be able to have such a distinguished guest with us. Thank you for that, sir. We also extend our sincere appreciation to the management body of Dr. B.C. Rai Society for their continuous encouragement and providing all the necessary support to make this event a grand success. A big thank you to the organizing committee of the Department of Hospital Management. Your dedication, coordinations, and behind the scenes hard work are what made today's event run very smoothly and successfully. We are also grateful to the Public Relations Department and other administrative team of Dr. B.C. Rai Society for their excellent cooperation and support throughout the planning and executions of this celebration. Our heartfelt thanks to all the dignitaries present here today. Some of the faces are very much known to me. I personally know them very well. So thanks for coming. And finally, this is last but never the least, to our students. Thank you for being the energy and enthusiasm behind this event. Your active participation, discipline, and creativity brought life to this celebration. Once again, thank you all for making this event a memorable one. Let us continue to work together to promote health, awareness, and education in everywhere we can. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, the audience. Thank you to our dignitaries. We have reached the end of today's wonderful program. Students, please abide by the discipline. Contact your coordinator and leave the hall in an organized manner.